Hey, we are back. This is Crystal Tottenham from Crystal Clear Coaching. We're back with flow posting. It is now the 2nd of December, and I have decided what my added habit for this day is going to be. So basically, every day, as long as it flows and doesn't become overwhelming, for January, I will be showing up here doing a video. That's actually a non-negotiable. I will be doing a video daily in January. But basically I'm going to add a habit every day. It's the negotiable part is, if maybe getting to 31 habits is a bit much. So if that feels like too much on a daily basis, that's cool. I just would confuse my brain if I try to do it every couple of days or a few days to add a habit. But I've got lots of habits I want to work on, as we all do as healing human beings. But yeah, my next one is my sleep schedule, and that's gonna be chunked down over a couple of days as habits. Like, it's going to bed earlier and waking up earlier. I think I'll start with the waking up earlier. Where I live in the Gold Coast it gets like 4:30 in the morning, so there's a lot of early risers around here, and I am not one of them yet. At least for the most part. I can do it if I have to, but I tend to put off getting out of bed to as late as possible, and that means I'm just running around like a headless chicken to get ready to go to work or whatever I'm doing that day. And I know, as much as the night owl within me is strong, I will do a lot better in life if I'm actually putting my deepest wants and needs first in the day. So what that looks like is, just not letting myself lie in and sleep further, which I'm really good at doing. I can easily go back to sleep. Some people would be jealous of that, but also know that you might be tired throughout your day, but at least you're getting up and doing life. So it's a fine art. We all, it's good to learn to flow in the way that you can, and when you notice that there's things that you're holding yourself back with, habits that are holding you back, to look and try otherwise. It's the only way you're going to create change, is if you try something new. Sometimes the world, the universe, will force it upon us, but it's so much better and more well-earned if you get to choose it. Yeah, and then it's your choice. No go backsies. So my next habit is, I think I'm going to do, because technically I did not get up early this morning, so that would be me not putting the habit in today, but I can still go to bed early. So it is currently 6:08 p.m, so it's daylight still. This is a big one for me because I've been filming these at night lately. I'm going to go to bed by 9:30, 10 at the latest, which I know doesn't sound that early for a lot of people, but for me that's like next level. I need to be asleep by then. Considering I just had a nap, I hope that actually pans out, but hey, if all else fails, I'll put on a guided meditation and have a good time. And I know, obviously the earlier I go to bed, the more sleep I have, so when it hits whatever my morning non-negotiable wake-up time becomes, then I'm more well-rested to be able to get up for that, at least in theory. So, yeah. I have done spouts of doing this and been successful before, but I get past the 21 to 30 day thing and life gets in the way, or a job gets in the way, and then it kind of just falls to the wayside. And then by the time that job's over, having worked in, this is, I think last time it was, I don't know, either a film or just some other work I had, and it just made it a bit hard time-wise to, and just capacity-wise, and I fell out of the habit, and technically I've already proven that I can do it, so I can. A lot of the times I just choose to not want to, and then I get frustrated with myself that I haven't made any progress with showing up for the things that are most important to me first and foremost. Instead of at the end of the day where I'm tired and falling asleep during a video that I'm posting to YouTube, for instance. I don't know who that will relate to at all. But anyway, so I will be going to bed early tonight. The dog will be excited about that. She's just saying hi. And yeah, and okay, yeah, she's gonna say hi some more. That's okay, you come out, darling. And yeah, basically what I wanted to talk about today is how are you finding ways in your daily life to cultivate healing? Like, what are the things that you need healing with in order to get yourself to the place where you're living the lifestyle that you truly want? Which will grow and evolve too, but like, where is there places you haven't healed where it's showing up in your life in ways that might be hurting yourself or others around you? Where is the line where you choose to actually make a change, and at what point is it too painful to not do the healing? And also, you don't need to get to that point in order to choose to heal. And guess what? The most powerful healer in your life that you're ever going to meet is right here with us right now. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about you. Only you can heal your life for you. Heal your habits that aren't working for you. Heal the thought patterns that come up. The things that hold you back because there's a smaller part of you, the inner child part of you that is running the show, basically. But guess what? There is actually so many wonderful tools out there that you get to choose to heal that for yourself. It is a choice. So when I see people walking around choosing toxic traits, I mean, I wish them all the best, and honestly, I do not want to be in a place of judgment really ever. But I know that even if they realize it or not, I know that it's a choice. And I know that I hope one day they choose to see, or that whether maybe they just don't know that yet. They don't know that healing is a choice. And maybe they're in a really shit circumstance right now, and it's a lot harder to choose the healing because they just need to survive and their capacity is just shot. And that's okay too. And like, oh my God, I'm not perfect. Like, I'm not coming at you from some high horse here. I've been doing a lot of work internally on myself in the past few years, but there's many parts of my life that are not perfect. Many parts I need to heal, like specifically with my finances, and there is and just like also just finding a bit more stability for myself. But in a way, to me, what feels safe to my system at this age and stage at least is that I have a sense of freedom, and that is a beautiful life that I love, that I've curated for myself. And it's not always easy to be as free as I am, and sometimes it means me not committing to things that could serve me, or at least from the outside perspective would serve me, and maybe they would, but I've really learned to trust my intuition and trust what I know feels right for me. And I've done spells of not trusting my intuition and working in jobs that weren't aligned. Not saying they weren't for great companies or anything. It's just like, it was just like batting my head against a brick wall every day, feeling like I'm getting told that I'm not good enough on a frequent basis, and just like driving myself insane trying to show up for a job that just was not creative at all, didn't really excite me. It was providing a wonderful service, but it just stressed me out. And I felt so unhappy being in that position. And there's been many times where I felt like I had to go and do something like that. And I have gone and done something like that for a short term. But yeah, I am lucky enough to have had a creative career in film and TV. But I have by no means worked as a full-timer in film and TV for that career. Like, there'll be spurts of maybe 6 to 9 months at the most where I would be working quote-unquote full-time, but our full-time is like 50 to 70 hours a week, which is not sustainable. It's not easy on your body. But then, there's times where I will do that for a couple of months and that's the gist of my film work for the whole year. And then I'm just doing office temping or whatever else will take me around that. Especially in the last few years, not having, there's just not as much greenlit. And I don't know how much I've fed into that story, that I've now allowed it to be the reality for me. But I know, especially like in the US, production's down so much that it's not the industry it used to be. So yeah, anyway, have much love for film and TV. And also, I don't necessarily know that I'll work in it, or at least work on it much in the future. I'll leave that up to the fate. And if I feel the intuitive nudge to go and work on a film job, I will. And, for all I know, I could be on another one within the month. But that's something I still love and relish in doing. But I know, actually, my purpose and what I want to focus on is this coaching, choosing to help people, guiding people to heal themselves through all the wonderful tools that I've learnt. And I personally think healing looks really fucking good on you. So go be a hottie and go get your healing. And it's not easy, and it's not something that happens overnight. You might have an epiphany that really brings you this sense of something changing just like that. In fact, I can definitely help with that. I have some wonderful tools up my sleeve that I can vouch for. I've got clients that can vouch for. And it also takes that epiphany to stick out in your brain, so when a situation that feels the same as something you would have reacted badly to shows up in the future, you can realize it's a different situation. You can tell your system it's okay, this is not the same situation. You can be conscious of that. You can take a deep breath and exhale longer than you inhaled. Reset your parasympathetic nervous system so your body is no longer in fight or fight mode. That's what the exhale longer than the inhale does, by the way. And you get to choose where you want to go from there, which is going to serve your best and highest, because you're now conscious of what you needed to heal and what you are healing through choosing differently than what the triggered response is to a situation that feels unsafe to your system. How hot is healing? Like, imagine if we're all focused on our healing first and foremost, and doing the work in those small moments and all moments to notice our shit and just, deal with it as we go. Look, I'm not expecting anyone to be perfect or for it to be noticed immediately in all times, but can we just see, even just you doing it for yourself It's just purely you're doing it for yourself. How are you going to show up in the world differently? How's your life going to look differently from doing that? How are you going to affect the people that are in your life that you know and love and care for and want the best for? What effect is that going to have on them? And honestly, some people will be triggered by it and they will feel like they don't know you anymore and they may exit your life. But if they're not standing up, if this is not someone that's an advocate for your best and highest, are they really that good of a friend in this season of your life anyway? And could you just trust that if you just surrender the relationship and let them go, that if they're supposed to come back and be someone that can be around that best and highest version of yourself, they are your ride or dies. They are meant to be in your life. I'd much prefer to be the healed and hot version of myself than stuck in the trenches of toxic patterns. Just putting those toxic patterns out into the world and being a hurt person that hurts people. Not even consciously, just through not showing up for my own shit. Like, it doesn't feel good to me to do shit that could potentially hurt others. Like, that's not okay. And there'll be times where I do stuff that, like, I cannot control someone's perception and reaction to me. Well, that's something for them to look at to a degree. But if they were to come to me and say, hey, you did this thing and that really hurt me, I would listen. I would take that on. I would see what there is to repair, what can be done, if anything. I would, if they're open to it, invite them to consider their perception and what led them to perceive something in that way. But also, you know, I know that they might choose to still feel that hurt, and might not be ready for that conversation, and I have to be okay with that because I can't control anyone else's reaction or patterns. But I just, even if they never have anything to do with me again, I would prefer them to walk away with the possibility of healing that hurt for themselves in whatever way they need for their best and highest. Yeah. So, who wants to be a hottie and heal with me? I don't know, this is what I love about flow posting. Sometimes I just have these thoughts cross my brain and I just think, that'd make a good video. I'd love to share that with the world. And, you know, previously it's been talking to a flatmate and having a chat in the kitchen, and that's the one person that gets to receive that beyond myself. And that's not enough for me anymore. I want to share it. I want to share it with the world, and then hopefully we can create a ripple effect of more and more people choosing healing, choosing their own healing, being the best healer for themselves, like the hottie that they are. And yeah, the more people that are choosing, like, imagine if even 10% of the world chose this work of doing the healing for themselves, how much would the world look different? Like, the world is not in the best shape lately, so yeah, I would love to say 1% would make a huge change. Yeah. So anyway, I invite you to choose your healing for yourself and become a hottie. I mean, you're already a hottie, let's be honest. But let's choose the healing together. And if you need any help or guidance with that, I'm your girl. I've got so many tools in my wheelhouse, it's not even funny. So I went through a certification called Whole Coaching, based here out of Queensland in Australia. I did it mostly online, a little bit in person, but it's through a really good friend of mine, Marina Perry. Look her up. She's amazing. Please go and follow her if you feel so inclined. But yeah, Marina Perry, she is one of the biggest catalysts for change in my life. I literally met her the day I went to my first personal development seminar ever. She had already connected with my brother and was friends with him from seminars they'd done together in Australia, and this was when she came to New Zealand to do the seminar. And that very day I met her, I signed up for my first personal development course and never looked back. It's when I really started healing and noticing my patterns and choosing better for myself. And instead of letting myself stay in stuckness, I would know that it's up to me to get myself out of that stuckness. And I'm so thankful for that. And then it took probably, let's think, another 7 or 8 years until she opened the conversation. She had, in that time, become a trainer for coaches, and she told me while I was on a retreat in Bali that she thinks I would make a great coach. And I had secretly, right since that first personal development seminar, thought I would love to do that. But I hadn't told, I think, anyone. Maybe people picked up on it anyway, but I didn't tell anyone because I was really focused on wanting to work in film and TV, doing costume at that point in time. And I did that. I still do that, but I've done it a lot around the world, and I've worked in London in the UK and Vancouver in Canada and in New Zealand, and I've worked on some huge things, and I've had the time of my life doing it and earned money and met lots of amazing creative people. If you're one of them, shout out to you. Welcome to being a healed hottie too, by the way. Love that you're here. And I just am so grateful for all these experiences that my personal development journey led to and created the possibility of for me. The day I met my coach was when I really just it was just such it was like an obvious turning point in my life. So going through her training, she goes deep, and she is a dynamo and has done so many different personal development modalities and teaches a lot of them as well, that we really look at, the mind, the neurolinguistics programming, of how our mind works and the patterns in there, and how to recode them for our best and highest, because there's a lot of patterns that are running from an unhealed child version of ourselves that just wants to survive and be loved and in belonging. And then there's the energetic healing, our body, our field, and the somatic healing. Soma means the body, so the trapped emotions that are stored in our body. The way that this is magic is crazy. It's the NLP is the mind, so it's what we call top-down coaching. So it's going from, it's thinking through the healing, thinking through, why did this happen? Why did I feel this way? Why did that occur to me like that? Why was my perception? Yeah, whatever it is, thinking through, trying to heal your system. Whereas the somatic therapy is the bottom-up approach, where you're just sitting and feeling into the feeling and where feels safe in my body? And you just notice that. And then where doesn't feel safe in your body? Where is dis-ease showing up in your body? Dis-ease. And noticing that. And there's also a brilliant book called Heal Your Body by Louise Hay. It's basically just a chart of different dis-eases and ailments that was created by thought patterns consistently showing up, and then And then it basically gives you an affirmation to try and counteract that thought pattern, change that thought pattern. And I know it's not as simple as that, but it does really help. And honestly, going through that book and thinking back to all the times you've had something slightly off in your body, it just made sense to me. And this also was Marina taking me to a healer in Bali, who introduced me to this book. So yeah, somatic therapy, so good, because you can just feel your way through and release something like that. That's why it's magic. Whereas the NLP is quite heady. But then also we've integrated this coaching so that I will jump around in all these things. You don't need to know about what I'm doing. But we will jump around in all these things, and we will see what you need in that moment intuitively, and then I feel into, like, maybe releasing your emotions is a big no for you. Your system says, oh no, we are not allowed to show our emotions, and so, like, that's probably not the way for you to release it, though you probably really need it, but we'll have to work our way up to that. Whereas maybe you're very much a thinker, and thinking through it is actually sparking your curiosity, and that excites you, and so I think we're still going. Okay. And that excites you, and so that gets you going, and you then find epiphany after epiphany, because your mindset around the mind stuff is just curious and excitable. Sometimes it'll be heavy as fuck, and that's okay, but wouldn't you prefer to release the heavy, stuck emotions that are residing in your system, rather than hold on to them any longer? I mean, you may have had them and been holding on to them for decades, even years, even just months. Like, it all affects how you show up in your daily life, and just being willing to look is such a hot it's a hot way to do life. Yeah, just really jumping on this toot bandwagon of healing is hot. So yeah, then I'm also trained in family systems, so that's like the dynamics of how we show up in our family, and I think it also can be related to different hierarchy and systems, dynamics, interpersonal relationships as well. But it's just fascinating, like, what we're holding on to that isn't actually ours. It might be our parents or our grandparents or our great-grandparents. Maybe we'll actually never know. Like, there's also I have done work with family constellations. I'm not a coach for family constellations, but I love being in one and holding space for people. So family constellation is a huge group activity where you get as many people as possible that are willing and open to hold space for one person and their family and the issue in that family system, and we map out through a relatively woo-woo experience of what's the energy in the field of that family dynamic, and you get to actually heal stuff that families have been holding on to for who knows, sometimes how many generations. Really dark beat stuff that you know is probably started, you know, generations and generations, who knows how many generations ago, and it's just been a constant cycle because the family system doesn't know better, or doesn't know to ask differently. So you can actually, in this beautiful exercise, help an entire family line find healing. It's insane. So yeah, I also am trained in breath work. So, because without the breath, you're not alive, you know. So very important to life and being a life coach, I say. Anyway, so let's heal and be hotties together. Oh my god, so good. So yeah, that was my little spiel for today. The doggo wants some food now, so I better go feed her. But much love, and I hope you choose your healing for yourself, if not for also everyone around you. And if you want my help, you can reach out to me. I'm on Instagram at Crystal Clear Coaching, Crystal with an EL at the end, and it's the same on here. Please like, share and subscribe if you feel called. I don't think I can be hyped yet, but if you can hype me, that'd be awesome. I'm very much talking to myself most of the time at the moment, but I'm showing up anyway. And I'm healing my patterns so that I can show up and be of service to the world with all this wonderful information I get to be of service with. Okay, amazing. Much love. You hottie.